First session we have from compliance to confidence, infrastructure, AI and cybersecurity for the global CA. The session will be moderated by CA Umesh Sharma sir, the man behind AI CA batches throughout, and who better than Umesh Sharma sir can deal us and take us to the journey of AI in this session. I would like to request the Central Council member and the Deputy Convener of the group, C. Abhay Chhajed sir, and the Central Council member, Umesh Sharma sir, C. Central Council member, Priti Savla ma'am, to please escort and welcome our speakers for the say, Gyan Pipara sir, Prakash, Anand, Jangid sir, and Prakash, Ganti sir to the dais, please. A very good morning, friends, and once again, it's a gentle reminder to the members who are done with their breakfast to kindly come in and settle down. We are about to start with a very important and very prominent session on compliance to confidence. And to have the opening remarks, I would like to request the Deputy Convener of the group and the man behind this entire event who have curated very well, along with the Convener, Sanjeev Sanghi sir, Abhay Chhajed sir, for his opening remarks for this day 2 session. Abhay sir, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Neerav, the Chairman of Ahmedabad branch. Truly, I think what you said is man behind, of course, but I think you are one person here dedicated, doing so much good effort and excellent work being done by you for this entire event. So good morning, everyone, all the dignitaries on the dais, off the dais. I see quite a few members who've here bang on time, I would say, and that's the opportunity for us to listen to an expert, a panel discussion, very important discussion. Sitting on the dais, of course, starting with, on my left, first one, Gyan Pipara ji. Thank you so much, Anand, Jangid, Prashant ji, Kapil ji. Excellent speakers, interaction, doing so well in the AI. The talk about the important topic from compliance to confidence, infrastructure, AI, and cybersecurity for the global CA. And none other than the chairman of this committee on AI, Umesh Sharma ji, my council colleague. He is here today, traveled from all over Kuwait and was there at 4 o'clock in the morning, but he's here among us. Thank you, Umesh, doing excellent work in AI. And I must tell you, yes. So the reason being he's not slept, so he's fresh. Thank you, Umesh, and for being here. And of course, another council colleague, Priti Savla ma'am, Chairman of Women's and Young Members Excellence Committee and Vice Chairman of various couple of committees. Sitting off the dais, the convener of this group, Sanjeev Sanghi, Purushottam Khandelwal ji from Ahmedabad, Madhukar sir, all the dignitaries of the dais. Thank you so much. Good morning to all of you. Welcome again for this very important session on AI. And I can just give you a brief about AI committee. Of course, Umesh will be sharing his experience as a chairman. But I can only say that the 500 batch of the AI for members, the certificate course has already been announced and it's been there at Indore. And I was truly an honor, I think, big round of applause for Umesh for doing an excellent work in AI. So many summit all across the regions and the country, so many members interested, and members want to learn. And I think the real time is AI. So it's always been said that a member without the knowledge of AI and with knowledge of AI will have a big difference going forward. So certainly this session would be very enlightening. We'll have a lot of interaction, discussion. Experts already associated with AI committee, they'll be sharing their experiences. Once again, I welcome all of you for this very important technical discussion on the AI topic, compliance to confidence. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir have rightly mentioned about the AI expansions, and I'm truly honored and privileged to say that when we are talking about GCC, the Global Capability Center, and we are trying that our Indian Chartered Accounts are growing global, and we're talking GCC at GCC, that Gift City Club. Umesh Sharma sir has just returned from the Kuwait, announcing the AI level batch at the Kuwait. So not just with the Global Capital Center, the institute at this helm with the leadership is trying to ensure that ICI is leaving their footprints across the globe, across the country. That's truly in shape the actual going global. And friends, in ICI motto also we can see the Garuda, the eagle, it's flying across the globe. So that's truly the vision of the top leadership. And I also request and I also expect and share my confidence that the Indian chartered accountant should at least have the 60 to 70% of revenue outside India. That will truly shape the economy and shape the world. Thank you. With this, I'll request Gyan Pipara sir for his keynote address to this August gathering.
Good morning, friends. At the outset, I welcome you on the second day of the second GCC summit, second in the series. As you all know, that GCC is a new initiative by the institute, and we have eminent speakers today. Since my role is very limited to have a keynote address, the topic, friends, which we are going to discuss today is CA profession from compliance to confidence. Does it mean that we are moving from compliance to confidence, or does it mean that we need to comply and so as to gain the confidence also? In my view, friends, it is just not the confidence. આપણે એવું નથી કે આપણા ક્લાયન્ટનો કોન્ફિડન્સ મળી ગયો, આપણે રિપોર્ટ સારી છે, ક્લાયન્ટ બહુ ખુશ છે, ક્લાયન્ટનો કોન્ફિડન્સ મળી ગયો એટલે આપણું કામ પતી ગયો. That is not the fact, friends. I put it this way, confidence is the top of the pyramid, which is based on compliance. We will not get the confidence unless you comply with. So therefore, in my view, compliance and confidence are the two sides of the same coin. And what we need to do is, I have designed, there are 7 pillars. If every chartered accountant follow those 7 pillars in his practice, be it his own office, be it his desk wherein working, be it a small office, be it a large office, no assignment in our today profession, friends, is possible to get the confidence without complying. And therefore, I will not take much time, but let me take you through the 7 important pillars. The first, friends, is about the integrity and independence. We need to be independent, unbiased in giving our opinion. Our report has to be free from unbiased, and you should stand always independent of your assignment. Friends, you may be aware in the recent various order passed by the NAFRA, wherein the independence of the auditors has been challenged. So that always hinder, that always play a crucial role while gaining confidence in our profession. So in my view, the first pillar from our journey of compliance till confidence is complying with complete independence and integrity. Second, friends, is we should have the proper knowledge, learning throughout your period. Whatever is your journey of CA profession, you need to keep yourself updated about the standards, about the laws, about the national laws, about the international laws. It is not possible that we ignore the professional competence and due care and try to achieve the compliance as well as confidence. And third is, friends, confidentiality. The report which you give should be very confidential. Whatever information given to us by the client, you need to maintain the complete confidentiality. I know a number of chartered accountants where even there was a family partition dispute in the brothers, but both the brothers staying with the same chartered accountant, knowing that here my informations are very confidential, I will not be betrayed. Even there may be, both the brothers may not be in the speaking terms, but still I have seen number of chartered accountants doing wonderful job. So my third pillar is that whatever work you do has to be confidential. unless you are required by the law to disclose the information, whatever assignment you do, then only we chartered accountants, you chartered accountants are supposed to disclose. Otherwise, your entire journey, professional journey, if you want to reach to the top of the pyramid, we cannot reach without complying with the confidentiality. And next pillar, friends, is compliance with the laws and standards. Comply with the utmost care, all the regulations of the institute, Companies Act, accounting standards, auditing standards in performing your duties. So that is the fourth pillar, friends, compliance with laws and standards. I'm not taking in the much details, just summarizing, friends. Transparency and communication. Friends, I have seen number of large reports given by the chartered accountants where the opinion expressed or the forensic audit report given does not convey what the work has been done by a chartered accountant. So your report should speak, your communication should be clear, you should able to speak, even if you had given a negative opinion or your report is negative on certain investigation or a forensic audit or the internal audit or the management audit, your report should speak themselves. With clarity of thought, clarity of documentary evidences, your report should be there. Next, friends, is ethical leadership. So you need to act as a guardian of the stakeholders, you need to act as a corporate governance, you need to act as a protection of the investors. So these are the few 6 or 7 pillars, friends, I had given, that while complying all those aspects, due care, accountability, ethical leadership, communication skill, accountability, documentation, compliance with the law needs to be maintained so as to achieve the objects of compliance. Once we are compliant, we will certainly get the confidence of our customers. Let me show you, friends, a picture. Here is a picture of a nice bungalow. You will see it. You will feel that it's a nice bungalow, very beautiful house, standing on the pillars. But what if this bungalow, and which is our office, that if we don't comply, if we don't give the due regards to the ethical standards, if we do not preserve the proper documents, this bungalow is of no use. And the next picture, friends, is of a temple. So in my view, our office is like a temple. You should think that my office is like a temple. When the clients come, he should come with confidence and he should walk away with a smiling face. That is possible, friends, only and only if we comply with all the regulations and gain the confidence. With this short information, friends, I would like to touch upon, if you read in the today's newspaper of Business Standard, Sundar Pichai, he has given a very beautiful statement that in the next few years, every establishment is going to use some or other form of AI. So let me give you the few figures. That is, in India, as per Dun & Bradstreet report of 2020, there are 81 million establishments. How many, friends? 81 million. Forget about the small shops. There are 18 million partnership firms and proprietary concern. 18 million, friends. Imagine the scope of AI with the use of compliance, with the use of confidence, and with the use of AI. Out of 18 million partnership and proprietary concern, friends, there are 17 lakhs, precisely 17.81 lakhs companies registered in the MCA portal, both listed, unlisted, private, limited company. 73,000 are unlisted company. 6,000 are listed company, friends. So 6,000 listed company, 73,000 of unlisted company, 17 lakhs of companies incorporated under the Companies Act, and 16 millions of partnership proprietary concern. With the statement of Sundar Pichai, that in the near future, every business establishment is going to use in some form or other the AI. That is possible, friends, only and only if you comply with, you have the confidence and use and have some technological skill in you. With this brief remarks, we have a learned speaker, friends, with you, Mr. Anand Jangid, who is a chartered accountant. Umesh Sharma ji, he is a very good expert in AI. He has been regularly updating the AI group. He has made an AI group wherein lots of inputs has been given. We have Prashant from Mr. Zoho, who is also a very learned speaker. And then Priti ji Savla, who is our Central Council member and very active role she has played in the field of AI, transformation, GCC, Internet of the Things, blockchain, etc., etc. And another speakers we have Mr. I'm forgetting your name. I'm sorry. Yeah, Kapil ji. So let us hear, friends, them. With this remark, I conclude. It is not so that we are moving from compliance to confidence. It is a journey which started from compliance, ending with confidence. Confidence is not possible of the stakeholders, of the client, of the regulator, of the management, unless we comply. For compliance, various 6 or 7 pillars as I stated. And with the use of AI, there is a huge features available to you. I can see lots of young faces, friends, wherein the Indian economy we are talking of touching upon 25 trillion US dollar. The present Indian economy is close to 3.5 trillion US dollar. We are talking of immediately near future 5 trillion US dollar and 25 US trillion dollar. You can understand with this much economy, with so much establishment, with compliance and with regulation and with confidence, sky is the limit. You can reach to that height, friends. Thank you everyone. Thank you. Let us hear that.
Thank you so much, sir. The 42 years of experience in distinguished as a forensic and accounting expert was truly visible in your sense, sir. Your words and your wisdom have truly motivated the members, and you have set the perfect tone for the session. I'll request our Central Council member and Deputy Convener Abhay, Chhajed, sir, to please welcome Gyan and Pipara, sir, with As a panelist, we have with us our first panelist, CA Anand Jangid, sir. Sir, Anand Jangid, sir, is the Chief Chain Agent. He is a Chartered Accountant and CISA, recognized for the pioneering use of AI, machine learning, and data science in finance, audit, and risk management. As a Managing Partner as AJ and a Chief Chain Agent at AJALABS.AI, he drives innovation across India, North America, and Japan. So, welcome to this conference. For the second, we have with us as a speaker. Now we have with us Kapil Bagadia, sir, who is the Country Managing Partner of PP Advisory, a pioneering technology and business consulting firm with an impressive career spanning of 25 years at EY, including 8 years at the helm as CFO. Kapil's and passion for entrepreneurship led him to establish a PV Advisory where innovation thrives. Kapil, sir, welcome to the GCC Summit 2nd edition. And then we have with us the Vice President Zoho, Prashant, sir. I'll request Council member to please welcome Prashant, sir. Thank you. I'll request the moderator for the session, Umesh Sharma, sir, to please take it forward from here.
Good morning. Friends, I am coming from GCC to GCC. I was in Gulf, Kuwait, and morning 4 o'clock I came here. And it's a very happy moment to see all the faces here who are glowing. And it's all the concept which we are looking for, that is global capacity center building. And in this concept, when we look into the things, we come to notice that the global work should come to India. and when we see the current political or geopolitical position across the globe of India, we are in building new relationship. So new work will come to India, and we have to develop our capacity. We have very vibrant and very different knowledgeable person in each of the aspect of this GCC today as a panelist. One is Anand ji, क्योंकि जिंदगी में हर एक को happiness ही चाहिए, आनंद ही चाहिए. Why a person will go for GCC? To growth is one of the aspect, but the ultimate aim in life is आनंद, क्योंकि सबको खुशी मिलनी चाहिए. So we have आनंद जी. और जब आनंद मिल गया आपको, when you got happiness, and to continue that happiness and to continue the work of GCC, you need a mindset which is very calm, which is very cool, and that is Prashant. क्योंकि प्रशांत का मतलब ही है कि निर्मल, शांत. So when you are having GCC capacities in your office, in your organization, you will be interacting with global partners, global people, and you have to be very calm and cool to carry on. And once you establish a GCC and you continue, you need a teamwork, you need a leadership skill set, a captain skill set. And who was the best Indian captain? Kapil ji. So you are there to guide us. So we have all the type of characteristics here: happiness, calmness, and captaincy. So being a team leader. And we have to understand what are their thought process. We have drafted questions, and we will discussing that. But when we look at this panel discussion, I am very happy and very proud that we have leaders like Abhay ji, who is chairing this committee. Thanks Abhay bhai, क्योंकि एक भय था सबके मन में कि what is GCC, how I will go there, what I have to do, what are the skill set. वो भय को दूर करने के लिए अभय जरूरी है. सो थैंक्स अभय भाई. और ज्ञान की बात से तो हमने शुरुआत करी है, सो थैंक यू ज्ञान जी. एंड लास्ट में वोट ऑफ थैंक्स के लिए प्रीति वुमन इज देयर. सो प्रीति मैम इज देयर, एंड चेयरमैन ऑफ अहमदाबाद ब्रांच नीरव इज देयर. ही इज वर्किंग वेरी हार्ड टू टेक द ब्रांच much greater heights. So with these words, let's start our panel discussion. And first, we will be discussing with Anand ji. Anand ji, Global Capacity Center. So most important word here is capacity. And if a CA firm wants to develop or to enter into GCC, the topic to us is focusing on three aspects. One is infrastructure, second is the cybersecurity, and third one is AI. So, how you see artificial intelligence redefining the role of chartered accountants from compliance to strategic advisor? So what is the change that you anticipate, and what is the role of AI in this?
Okay. Thank you, Umesh bhai. Umesh bhai being like already the leader in the AI landscape, because he is actually the chairman. So I think this questions is very relevant, Umesh bhai, what it is there. So I was just asking a question to Abhay bhai, like what is the mix of our crowd? How many are already in GCC? How many are planning to set up GCCs for the thing? Ahmedabad being Ahmedabad, I have come here and I have seen some of the GCCs being set up out here. And what I see, as you rightly said, see there is a change which is happening from the process, as I would say the kind of mindset. India was earlier always an LCC. If you know the term LCC, many of you have heard about this thing, no? We used to call it low cost center, or it's a basically LCC. We used to always say this is my low cost. It's like cost arbitrage is something being played if I have to get the work here. But of late, there is a talent which we can all see. And with the kind of advancement, I see both on the side of members as well as students, where we are trying to imbibe AI in different things. And that's very important, because I would say it is something like this. I come from Bangalore, and there is a place near Bangalore called Bellary. Okay, it's fine. So there is a place called Bellary, which is around 200 kilometers from Bangalore. Small place. The population size is also very less. And I met a person there, his name is Pandu, and he is a chartered accountant who's doing a kind of work for Indonesian companies who are into palm processing. Imagine it's like something which is very small, very niche area. He only target one kind of businesses, only does palm oil processors who are there, who are like, international companies which are setting up their base in Indonesia. He just takes care of that. Now, why I'm trying to bring out here is, it's not just like he is able to do it. There is a language issue. I interacted with him on something, and he said, if I don't have AI, I can't do it, because the vouchers, the documentations, everything, there was a time, it used to be something which you have to have a translators and all that kind of thing. But if you see the tools of the trade right now, the workflow, the pipeline which organizations are building, it becomes very easy for you to have that. I actually give an example which a lot of people may not agree, but I left Infosys in 2016, and that time we used to have SAP CRM in Infosys. And to set that up, it used to be at some 3 to 5 crore project to have a CRM system of that thing. Today, if I use something from Prashant's organization, Zoho, use it at that, I can have the same feature which I can get it done and deliver that. And there are like the cost of all this technology has gone down. Same thing with AI. I would, just summarize Umesh bhai by saying one point is, we need to see the problem statement. We need to explore the unexplored. There are a lot of things, I would say, there is always a kind of a saying that Gujarat is always, entrepreneur mindset and all the thing. One of the thing which a lot of people, I travel to US and all thing, we see a lot of Indian CAs giving services. How many of you have seen the other side of the world, the global south, the east? There are a lot of things where GCCs can be set up for them, and it's a need of the hour. But as Umesh bhai rightly said, there's a need for proper infrastructure. No cutting cost on that. Proper cybersecurity, because that is going to be a key thing, and investment in the right tools of AI.
Thank you, Anandji. So we move to Prashantji. Prashant sir, Zoho is a truly Indian multinational company. It is coming from the small place, and it has reached across the globe. So the idea, the way you started, the problems that came in your journey. So our people want to know that in GCC, what is the importance of cybersecurity and infra to set up an organization which can start and which can lead the way you people has done?
Thank you, Umesh. So it's a good question. Basically, when we talk about GCCs, we are talking about global capabilities, having a mindset, bringing best practices, understanding the world is your oyster. So you need to, the customer does not care where you are. You are serving, if as Anand bhai said, if it's an Indonesian customer, you need to be the Indonesian to serve them. So you need to understand their local regulations. Now, when we talk about cybersecurity, right, you need to envision this like a software framework. There are global best practices. The framework works in a lot of situations. And there are some local nuances. That's how the way you need to look at cybersecurity as well. So cybersecurity, it encompasses obviously people, processes, and technology. When we say people, who have you trained everyone on aspects of privacy, security? For example, in our organization, all 20,000 employees have to undergo privacy training. It's you need to inculcate things like customer confidentiality, everything from the word go. So these are best practices. Similarly, how do you secure all your endpoints? Do you have the tools, technologies? Today, I mean, data is gold, right? It's cliched. But the highwaymen, robbers of today are the cyber attackers. So you need to be aware that as there's a Cambrian explosion of tools. I think I was telling Sanjeev yesterday that every accountant can be a programmer today with all the tools. That means there's going to be a lot more code. There's going to be a lot more. The attackers are not going to sleep. They are going to go ahead of us. And once you have the understanding of global best practices, deep knowledge of what cybersecurity, something that is country agnostic, then you need to understand what are the local regulations. For example, let's take something like data privacy, right? We understand at some level what data privacy is. But what are the local regulations? For example, you have California Consumer Protection Act. You have GDPR, General Data in Europe, right? You have the POPI Act in South Africa. Now, at a higher level, everything looks the same. But in California, they say that if your business is over $25 million, then you need to adhere to that. And it primarily focuses on consumer businesses. In Europe, regardless of who you are, if you are storing customer data, then you need to adhere to. If you are you don't need to be in Europe. If you are here, your office is in GIF City, your customer is in Europe, you're selling to someone in Europe, you need to adhere to that. The POPI Act also is something similar, but the definition of a person in POPI Act is different. POPI Act is not just an individual. It's about company. And the data also, right? For example, your trade union membership number is also, for example, that's also included in the POPI Act. So these are local nuances. You need to get deep into this if you are going to serve. The quicker we get an understanding of all these, more business for us also. And then with the onrush of AI, right? We all want to, so again, let's be clear, right? We want to grow fast. We don't have the luxury of making startup mistakes here. So we have to be very careful about what we give to LLMs. If you're prompting for anything, LLM may not use the data for training. But if somehow you push a data to LLM, there is no way today for the LLM to forget that data. People miss that point. So this is very critical. So you need to get deeper into the technology layers for that. Quickly understand all the local regulations, because customers want to expand in every market. There are geopolitical challenges. The regulations are biting, regulations changing every day. Correct? Security is a national interest. They are not building security policies for our benefit. They are building for the national interest. So we need to be aware of those aspects. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Prashantji, and you have very nicely shown the picture that from which country the work is coming, what are the laws that need to be taken care of, as well as the laws of land. And this is a very important question for we all chartered accountants. And when we look into this GCC thing, we have our central council member Sanjeev Bhai. He also talks such things, but now we are understanding because he is already there. Thanks Sanjeev Bhai for this beautiful GCC setup, and Purushottam Bhai is also there. If we want to have a best of best in human beings, so Purusho mein Uttam. So in GCC we have to work in that fashion. Now we come down to Kapil Bhai, Captain. Team building is one of the things, because that leads to capacity building. But the one question for small and medium scale practitioners, or we can say firms, in those who want to come into GCC, the basic issue is infra as well as investments. So how to balance it? Because investments the way we have to put up all the infra. So how you guide our small and medium practitioners?
First of all, good morning to all of you, and thanks the whole council and the Gandhinagar and Ahmedabad team for inviting me here. To answer to answer simply this investment thing, this is very relevant, for small and mid-sized CA firms, that are we going to invest a large sum in infra? But the answer is, it is not about how much money you have. It is all about how do you architect your infra. I will give you a few examples to understand it better. Like, we all know now everything is becoming cloud-based or SaaS, software as a service. So this is what we need to go for, as in whether it is Google Workplace or Microsoft 365 Business Premium, wherein you get your mailing to collaboration to filing to security, everything. Similarly, if you talk about virtual desktop, I mean, this is fairly a new concept, but yes, it is very much there. As in, you don't need to now spend $50,000 for every laptop. You just spend 10-12,000 for your screen, and the whole CPU and the whole system is sitting in one server with some service provider, and you are paying again like SaaS. So a very very less cost for the whole setup you create. If you talk about cybersecurity and all those aspects, again, you can actually outsource those things rather than having a full IT team within your organization. And again, it works like SaaS, whether it is endpoint detection or incident response, everything you can outsource. Your backups and this thing, I mean, you really need to prioritize backups, but again, those are available now of the location, whether you go to Azure or you go to Amazon, wherever you go, it is not that costly. And as and when you need that backup, you can actually retrieve that. Over all of these things, the most important piece is governance discipline. We can have all these systems and, whether it is SaaS or some endpoint detection or whatever, but it will not help until unless there is a governance within your organization, and it does not take any cost. As in, the access rights are given to the right person. So are you really reviewing it? Who is given what access? Backups. There is a backup, whether with whatever server, whatever cloud. But have you ever tried, to retrieve it? Because you should not wait for something wrong happening and then only figuring out how to retrieve that. So all these things, if we can take care of, honestly, I really don't see any large investment going into this.
Thank you, Kapilji. Friends, we have set the tone. If you want to enter in the GCC arena, you need AI, you need cybersecurity, you need infra. And when an external person will be outsourcing that work, there is a ड्यू डिलिजेंस प्रोसेस कि वो आके चेक करेगा काम देने के पहले कि आपके पास ये सारी चीज़ें है क्या. एंड व्हेन वी लुक इट आउट, द फर्स्ट एंड फॉरमोस्ट थिंग दैट इज द, आनंद जी, फॉर यू, दैट इज द इथिकल एंड रेगुलरिटी कंसिडरेशन. जैसे हम काउंसिल के अंदर भी देखते हैं, व्हेन वी आर इन काउंसिल, there need to be a one person or a set of seniors who control all the council and promote the idea of ethical discussion. We have Madhukar sir, who always promote that idea in the council. And in GCC setup also, there need to be some person like that. So what is your take on the ethical considerations? And in relation to the AI, because it is discussed that AI may be ethical or may not be ethical. So how to look into that?
Yeah, Umesh bhai, so this is a very interesting thing because I would like to answer it in two parts. The first part is, some of you would be already working in GCCs out here. Like if you're working already in GCC.
How many of us are working in GCC?
Okay, so few hands, okay.
Arre wah, good. So these are the persons
Yes.
who will be showing you path. Please get connected with them.
And they would understand one thing is, it's how important it is to meet the regulatory requirement as well as the ethical consideration. See, many times what happens is we always think of having shortcut. I can get things done by using some stuff or tools or environment which will do the work. If I have to use a little crude analogy, it's like a jugaad. You can get it done. There are possibilities to do that, scrapping and all the thing which is possible. But I will tell you the biggest challenge is to create interesting use case in finance and accounting for the global audience to understand. They should not see I'm sorry to use again one more word, like when I used to work in Infosys, there used to be a term for most of the Indian developers, we used to be called cyber coolies. Because the concept was that you are not adding much value. You are like, you're doing stuff which is like low end and all that kind of thing. If you want to move up the value chain long term, ethics and understanding of the regulatory landscape in real sense is very important. This is for my friends who are already working in GCC. My friends who are actually going to set up, I have a request with most of you. Think of yourself, you are carrying, a kind of a very heavy responsibility that one bad thing you do, the name of the whole industry goes for a toss. Globally, India will be seen, I don't know how many of you remember, in cybersecurity case, there was one HSBC card leak which happened in Bangalore, how it was shown in the Western world that how insecure it is. Because Umesh bhai also knows there are some people who are ready to sell you an ISO 27001 certificate for 15,000 rupees without actual audit doing, okay? You can say, hum log ISO 27001 hai, but actually are you following that in the kind of way? If you are using some tools, like for example, I'll tell you, a very easy thing. I want to connect to some external data sources and bring it up all together and have some, a pipeline build up for my client. There is a way called scrapping, but I hope a lot of you know scrapping is illegal. It's not supposed to be done. If you're doing that, if you're not using API and proper data source, if the client came to know that you have done it, there can be a kind of a case file against that person because the work is done. We understand SOC 2 reviews and other kind of things. So I would say, please understand. It is very interesting field, but if we take shortcuts in trying to basically just meet the requirement, ki chalo ho jayega, I can cut the cost, cut the corner and all things, long term you will be facing a lot of issues. My submission would be try to understand, and here where AI helps you. Today, I don't know how many of you are very excited. Yesterday, Grok Fast, Code Fast was launched. Yesterday it was launched. There are already 2 million subscribers who are already on that right now. And that is changing the way agentic AI is done. Now it's a great thing, but if you go with the subscription and all thing, yes, it will take some time. There are other ways to deal with that, and I can create codes and other kind of stuff from there, but they don't make sense. So my point is that see the big picture. Think of yourself as an ambassador of the Indian GCC, thing, because we want to say we have the talent, but how do we basically present it up? I always say is, this is the kind of thing, when we talk about ethics, go the hard way. Don't take the easy way. Understand the process, understand the whole details, and then take that.
True, Anandji. And one more point. to be noted. We are happy that under the leadership of Anandji and the team of faculties and the speakers, we launched the first book of AI in ICI committee that is on ethics in AI. So it's a ethics in AI. So you all should go through that book if you want to enter in the arena of GCC. Now we come down to Prashantji. When Zoho started the journey, which were the common blind spots that you remembered and that our participants should also remember when transforming their firm from the compliance to this GCC arena? So what are that important blind spot to look into as regard the cybersecurity, infra and AI?
Yeah. So one, I think the first step is to start actually. So there is a, because many times people don't even take the first step. So before worrying about the, of course, blind spots, you will hit and you need to figure out how to go at. The first step, there's a Chinese proverb that says that the best time to plant an oak tree is 20 years back. The next best time is today. So we need to make that start. But once you have decided to take that step, right, when you are going to transition your systems from legacy systems to modern cloud-based, obviously the first and foremost thing is, does it really, first you should be convinced that it's really good for your clients, and then for your firm, for your practice, for your business, and then you need to go forward the full hog. Now, once you go to something like a cloud system, right, obviously the data is not within your premises. The data is in a different data center. So you need to ensure that the vendor that your technology partner is equipped to handle your client's data as per the latest regulations, understands all the nitty-gritties with data center operations, has enough safeguards. These are the questions. Ultimately, you're responsible for the customer's data. You're the custodian of the data. So all these tough questions, typically there are standards that you need to know. Then it's one thing. For example, today, a lot of data sovereignty laws. There are countries that do not allow data to move beyond their borders. So when you buy into a cloud solution, where is the data hosted? And now, what is your rights over the data? So these are questions. Things have evolved, right? 2014, I was at an accounting conference in the US. I thought US was at the time ahead in the cloud. I was talking about, cloud is kind of par for the course. I'll talk about integrated cloud. Then the audience were asking, is there one cloud in the globe, or questions like that. That kind of flummoxed me, and I went back to the basics. But today, if you take, cloud is really par for the course. Our biggest competitor in the US does not sell a desktop solution. This is only cloud-based solutions today. So that has changed. So that is one. Then next step is when you have decided to step, have a clean plan. What are the first systems that you are going to migrate? What part? Depends on the complexity. If it's not possible to do everything in one go, take the atomic pieces, move one by one, see the benefits for yourself, have a clear reconciliation between the new versus the old. So the first step is the most important. So coming back to my original point, the first step is the most important. Ensure you are ultimately responsible for your client's data. You are the custodian of the data. Have regular checkups. I think once you start, things will fall in place, because today cloud as such is advanced. There are enough safeguards in place. You need to be aware of that.
Thank you, Prashantji. The point you noted down is very important to all of us. Yesterday, we started level 1 certificate course in Kuwait. So I was pretty relaxed, because in India, we are doing the courses and we are giving all the AI related. information, tools, knowledge. And I was stuck. They said that in Kuwait, no cloud. The country doesn't want the data to go out. So the Sheikh and Sultan of that country doesn't want the data. So they say it's all desktop. We have our own server. How we will install LLMs? How we will install the tools? तो मुझे पता चला यार ये भी एक issue है. So when you enter into the GCC arena, you are living in India, you know the rules and regulations are related to India. But as soon as you enter in the work of other country, you get, oh, this is there. So thanks Prashant ji for giving that most important aspect, that you need to know what are the things related to cybersecurity and cloud. Now we will move to Kapil ji. Kapil ji, when you see our small firms, medium firms, they want to enter into GCC. We are regularly doing audits, but when you enter into GCC arena, there is a cybersecurity audit concept. The financial important data is there. So you have to be very choosy what things you want to do, what not to do. जैसे हम एक इसको अगर हिंदी में बात कहें तो कौवा दाना खाएगा और हंस मोती चुगेगा. तो हंसराज सर, you are there. So we have to be like you. In GCC हमको मोती चुनने हैं. So what are the things in cyber security audit we have to consider?
Again, quite a relevant question in context of GCC. Gyan sir mentioned that until unless we comply, we cannot create confidence. I am adding one more dimension to it. Compliance in GCC context. So we all know, as a chartered member, we all know how to comply or for various compliances. But in GCC, compliance, the aspect of compliance, that gives us a license to operate. But when we create confidence among GCC clients, it gives us a license to grow. So that's the basic difference. And the cyber security, I mean, earlier I mentioned about the right infra, and the cyber security is equally relevant. I will again try to give a few examples. Like data protection, sir mentioned about that. Very, very important. Whether your data is in transit or at rest, every time it has to be protected. The right protection tools you need to adopt. DLP, as in data loss prevention rules you need to have. I mean, just to give you one example of DLP is like the kind of encryption that suppose a PAN is there in some data so that you cannot shoot any mail with that data. Those kind of things are very easily available now these days. So those kind of things you need to have. Access and identity, as in who is getting what access. We all need to have multi-factor authentication, as in, you know, for first the login password and then some OTP or those kind of things. And Microsoft report says that 99.9% the kind of the cyber security challenges are restricted only with MFA. So that is good to have. Then the privileged roles in case of GCC, if we can really have a, you know, eye on those roles, why those roles are being given, as in are they really needed? If at all needed, can we give it for an hour or a couple of hours? Those kind of, again, the discipline issue, if we can inculcate, that will really help. Endpoint, we talked about that endpoint detection. Anyone attacking your website or your database, so there are again tools which can actually alert you if someone is you know, attacking your system, and then how to get rid of those challenges. And similarly, the, you know, the response, incident response we call it, as in if any incident is happening, such breach of security is happening, then what would be your response? Who is going to talk to whom? Who will retrieve the data? How much time it will take to re-establish the whole framework for your client? All those things in cybersecurity are going to help you. So again, the compliance is the foundation, but if you create these kind of confidence within your client, that will attract investment and sustain growth.
Thank you, Kapilji, for bringing the important points in front of our people. Now we are on the last lap of our discussion. The last question will be there to all the three panelists. जैसे phases रहते हैं of every moon, and then now we are coming toward the full moon question. And चांद की जैसे चमकना, चंद्र की जैसे, तो हमारे चंद्रशेखर sir, you are here. Thank you for coming and gracing. Now we come at the most important thing in AI, original intelligence and artificial intelligence. So in coming 5 years, what do you see the impact of AI on this GCC?
5 years is very long, Umesh bhai. The things how they are changing, we call it as like, the sprint is going to be 3 months and maximum thing. But I'll like to take one example to explain my point of view. How many of you here thinks that AI is going to transform the GCC landscape? Very big. Okay, good number. I'll give you one example. How many of you heard about a company called AB and Bev? Only 2 people. If I tell you all of you have heard about, but you don't know about that company. How many of you know Budweiser? Oh, it's a dry state, I should not be. Okay. Which company makes, sorry? Is it? Okay. I didn't know so. No, we are a city of pubs, so we can pull up this, for people from here. So, AB and Bev is the holding company. All these brands like, Budweiser, Corona, all of this belongs to them. AB and Bev has a big GCC in Bangalore, close to around 3,000 people. But they also did a redundancy recently, around 1 year back. They let go close to around 200 people. But these 200 people are not at our level. They are actually BCom guys, basic people who used to do reconciliations. They implemented one solution called Blackline, as you can Google it out, which does automatic reconciliation. Now, that one thing changed the whole landscape. They have to let go 200 people because they couldn't retrain them for anything which is thing. My point is that if you are actually looking at the bottom of the pyramid, don't even go for it. Anything which is at the bottom of the pyramid is to go away very soon. Like how many of you get excited in the morning ki aaj reconciliation karenge? Anyone? No, right? It's not an exciting thing. But if I say FP&A for a company, don't you think you just feel amazingly excited? Yeah, we'll do that. My point is that in the GCC landscape, try to go for niche areas which are very interesting, which, come on, I'm just assuming all of you are chartered accountants, so, you have an intellect level. We should be trying to do at that part, play our game at that level. If you do that, there is no challenge from AI. But if you are actually at the low-end jobs, that is going to go away, whether we like it or not. And here, the most important thing which I would request you to try to go is to create use cases. People don't do that. And you go and Google, do search, whatever number of finance use cases, very low. I don't know why we are so, I don't know, there is a term. CAs are always known to be having a lot of, one of the fundamentals of accounting we have learned is called, conservatism. Conservatism is good in other part, but not when you are trying to deal with technology. That is my submission, Umesh bhai. I'll leave it here.
Thank you, Anandji, because this is a very important question that AI is impacting many jobs. तो काम आएगा या नहीं आएगा GCC में? And if we want to enter, then we should be AI enabled. So that is the take that you are having. Prashant sir, final questions to you. That a chartered accountant having his core competencies in different field, and now he want to enter in tech solution provider. So what skills, what tools they need to empower themselves, as you have a very good platform, Zoho. So practically speaking, what you suggest, which types of platform along with Zoho, or what type of tools being for a CA to have a tech solution provider?
Thank you, Umesh. So when we actually designed our solutions at Zoho, right, we wanted to do much of the heavy lifting for chartered accountants as well as their clients. For example, much of the business rules, if you take an accounting solution, right, all a business user needs to tell the accounting solution is what does he sell, whom does he sell, where does he sell. Under the hood, the system is supposed to triangulate all the rules and provide everything. Now, over and above that, what is the value add that we bring? So that's where I think much of our sensitization about the current solution. See, basically, you don't need to look at things as a product. You need to look at it as a platform over which you can extend it. You can solve problems we ourselves have not imagined. So you need to wear your technocrat hat. So we call as techno-functional experts, right? Today, anybody can build an AI agent. So Anandji was talking about lack of use cases, right? Today, the platform is available for you to test out those use cases. So that's where you need to bring your tacit understanding of your clients, which only you know. It's kind of an individual small language model that only you have. We don't have. So that's what you need to bring it to the value. That's where you can bring the biggest value addition to. For example, that specific agent could be only for your client or only for one market. So I think the platform today is available. We have provided the platform. We work very closely with chartered accountants in India, globally as well with CPAs and others. In fact, very recently we won a few GCC deals with help of chartered accountants. So you should be able to bring your understanding of the client, implement it, bring it over our platform, and that's where the combined offering wins. So I think it's a collaborative journey. It's an exciting journey. Very excited about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Prashant ji. Now, a final question with Kapil ji. Your tips for digital transformations to our members.
Yeah, sure. And probably I would request if you all can listen to this with some focus, because many of you may be benefited with this. The first and the foremost is mindset shift. Sir talked about, even yesterday you were talking about that. Our perception in the market is balance sheet, tax, compliances, which is good. But now we need to add a few skill sets, So, like, if anything, when you are talking about GCC, be ready for anything. I mean, a very large Medcare and healthcare company, we were approaching to them and not getting anything. And finally, they came up with something like to, map medicine names from one country to another country. Like paracetamol is being called as Dolo at one place and Crocin at another. Now, imagine without any medical background, how you will do it. But AI is there, Google is there, people you have. So be ready for that. And that was a journey. One after another we kept getting, and finally we are doing what we wanted to do. Similarly, process re-engineering, process transformation, finance transformation, these are our terms we keep listening, and we generally think these are the things which are baby of big organizations. But why? This is all about common sense. I mean, we do process transformation not only for finance, but even the production without any experience, because we strongly believe it is all about common sense. So we all can do that, and so much of opportunities which are available globally in this particular field. Infra and all those IT things we talked about, that you really need to have those kind of knowledge. You can't say कि यार देख लेंगे ना वो अब इतना अपना दिमाग नहीं चलता. No, हम सब जानते हैं, and we should be doing all that. AI we talked about. I will give you just one small example. हम chat GPT use करते हैं for what? Drafting email or some opinions. But you know, it can be used for many more things. Chat GPT is one. There are various GPT models available there, starting from astrology to analytics. Go and evaluate all those things. Use those for your clients. Even if some client is not asking for that, go and do that. They will see your value addition. Communication and the knowledge of various global accounting ERPs like QuickBooks, FreshBooks, Xero, NetSuite. All those we need to have a basic knowledge so that we can present ourselves to our prospects that we know all. Ultimately, everything is debit and credit, and we know very well. Last but not the least, and please listen carefully, the automation. Generally, I have seen, again, I am not pointing out anyone specifically, but I have seen practicing chartered accountant, they talk about automation कि यार वो अपना तो टैक्स ही ठीक है, अपनी तो ऑडिट ही ठीक है, ऑटोमेशन अपने को समझ में नहीं आता है. But why? You don't need to have an IT team. You don't need to know the coding. You don't need that experience. Now, you have something like Zoho, for example. You just need to go and learn for few hours, and you can create ample value addition for your clients. Excel. I mean, someone in Middle East asked me, "Yaar, I have to pay a lot of money every month for my 30 transactions in a month, so can you do something for me?" We created a simple tool in Excel wherein he has to put only 3 or 4 pointers or description, amount of the invoices they want to raise. Invoice will be raised, will be mailed to their client from Excel. Outstanding is there, collection is mapped, accounting is happening, balance sheet is being prepared in Excel itself with no experience, no training of Excel. You do work on Microsoft tools like Power Automate, Power BI and all that. So you will get a lot of clients and the value addition.
Thank you, Kapil ji, for this beautiful summing up the all discussion. Now we are at the end of the panel discussion. दोस्तों आप सबने देखा कि कैसे GCC के अंदर हमको empower होना पड़ेगा through AI, through infra, through cybersecurity, and there is a paucity of time, but if the organizers feel, then we will take the questions. So let me sum up the things. When we discuss all the relevant panelists and when we see, so we have to blossom in GCC. There are different types of flowers, but we have to blossom like lotus. Pankaj की तरह हमको खिलना है. Pankaj ji, thank you. And at the last, in GCC, when you enter in GCC, you should be a leader, you should be king, you should be like Rajesh sir. Raja रहना है अपने को GCC में. Thanks for coming here. Thanks all panelists for joining. We had a very good discussion. Our panelists are there. You can discuss them in the tea break. In the next session, we have to start. Everybody is there. So thanks for joining. Gyan की बात भी हो गई sir. Thanks. All people will connect with you. Anand ji, Prashant ji and Kapil ji. Thanks Abhay bhai. Thanks Priti. Over to you. Priti ma'am.
Hello friends. So I can see all the panelists and the speakers of the next sessions are already there. So my countdown of the time has already started. But it will be incomplete if we do not propose a formal vote of thanks. And when I was understanding and hearing the discussions, and it was going on the like paracetamol, which is a necessity, and for certain chemicals when US FDA is not, certification is not allowed in, by China, and where the India has the largest opportunity. So here also I can say we have to go beyond boundaries and from compliance to confidence. And when we say beyond boundaries, and as the panelists were discussing, not to just restrict oneself to only accounting or tax. Where is the pain point of the client? And if you are able to give solution, right, to this pain point, then only we are able to survive and grow. I can see the audience are like going to the next level of their journey. They are already settled at certain level, and their growth is now parallel to the axis. And to go to the next level, this requires, whether it's a GCC, is a big question mark. And when we understand all the discussions, how the infrastructure or artificial intelligence or the cybersecurity is very, very important to make the growth for becoming a GCC. That is the basic requirements. When we are going beyond our boundaries, we should be able to have such an infrastructure, what we have understood from the panelists. And I really thank all the panelists, starting from Gyan Pipara ji for his excellent setting the tone in a way that why and how it is important to be the ethical and requirements for this entire infrastructure and artificial intelligence. And Anand ji, Prashant Ganti ji representing Zoho, Kapil ji, and excellent moderation by Umesh ji. And I can see Abhay Chhajed ji and Sanjeev Sanghi ji and Purushottam Khandelwal ji for hosting over here in the city of Ahmedabad, all the council members present, and the Neerav ji and entire team of Ahmedabad branch for hosting over here. So really thanks everyone for having this session, entire audience for listening this. Thank you very much.